than a blanket, but softer than a block. So you can see I have a bolster there behind me. If you have even a couch pillow or cushion that you could use, that would be good. And then we'll only need that really at the end, towards the end of the practice. Okay, for now, come sit up on your blanket. I actually have my blanket behind the knees like this. So I'm on my shins, tops of the feet. I'm taking the blanket under the knees at the hinge there, and then sitting down. And it almost feels a little bit like a sandwich, like a calf sandwich that I'm making there as we sit. Okay, so now I'm going to get the music, and you're going to find your props and then come to your seat. And we'll get started in a pretty gentle class tonight. Okay, hopefully you all hear that music. Okay, great, thanks, Juanita. Okay, so we're going to begin here just for a few moments to ground and to settle into being present and coming into our seat. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your foundation, your seat, your legs. And then take a moment or two longer to then just notice the rest of your body, your shoulders over your hips, your head over your heart. And we'll begin with breathing tonight. Turn your palms up. If you're okay with that, let the palms face the ceiling. And this is a beautiful mudra called Giana Mudra, where we bring the thumb and the index finger to touch. And relax the wrists. And we'll do this breathing cycle where we'll breathe in together for 3 counts. We'll hold it at the top of the breath. And then we'll purse the lips and exhale through the mouth for 5 counts. Research shows us over and over again, if you look at some of the research on stress, that when we exhale longer than the inhale, it relaxes our nervous system. So let's begin. Breathe in through your nose for 3. Hold it for 1 second at the top. And open your lips and exhale for 5. And release. And let's do it again 2 more times. Inhale for 3. Hold it for 1. We'll open our mouth, purse your lips, exhale for 5. And release and pause. Release your effort. We'll do it 1 more time together. Inhaling for 3 counts. Hold for 1. Exhale for 5. At the bottom of the breath, release your effort, turn your palms down, and just notice, did anything shift? Maybe you feel a little more relaxed, a little more present. Now let's come into some shoulder rolls. So roll the shoulders forward, up, back and around. Go nice and slow so you feel all the ways that your shoulders can move. Good, let's lift the shoulders forward and up with a breath. So inhale and exhale. And 1 more. And exhale. Good. Okay, let's shift off of our blankets and come into a wide-legged child's pose. So the knees are apart and the big toes touch. And then oh, by the way, you could always slide this under your legs in that hinge of the knee as well if you need a little extra height there. That feels kind of nice. So if you're needing that extra cushioning at the back of the knees, you could always use that there. Stay here and let's return to awareness of the body and awareness of the breath. Try that breathing on your own here. You breathe in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And now let's walk our hands over to the right. And we'll feel a stretch under the left shoulder blade, of the left waist, left hip. Stay here and breathe some more, sensing into your body and into this present moment. And let's walk to the other side. Reach your arms, extend here through your shoulder, your right hip, your right waist is dropping back in space. Drop your head and tune your awareness to the inner body. Breathing, pulsing with life. Okay, and let's come on back. And now let's remove the blanket if you haven't already. And we'll come into our cat-cow sequence. So I'm going to come to this back mat so you can see the side view. Tucking your toes, really dig those toes into the floor today, because in a moment we're going to do toe stretch. So I want you to feel the toes curl back. And now let's drop the belly, inhale. And then exhale, keep the toes tucked today as you round the back. Drawing your chin in towards your throat. And again, keeping the toes tucked. Inhale, broaden your collarbones and drag your hands towards your knees isometrically. Exhale, round the back, broaden the shoulder blades. And let's do one more like that. Inhale to arch. Exhale to round. Now I'm going to walk the hands back to the knees, and here comes toe stretch. So I'm going to keep the toes curled under, sit on top of the heels, and come upright. This is quite intense if you're not used to it. So if it feels too much, of course, come on out, give yourself a break. We're going to just stay here and focus our awareness on the breath. So the breath is an anchor for the mind, especially when sensations arise. So let's one round. Inhale. Hold it at the top. Exhale, blow it out through the mouth today, 5 counts. Come off of your toes and press the tops of the feet into the floor. Give a little tap there. Good. And now 1 foot at a time, stretch the leg back. Oh, push into that heel, calf, back of the leg stretches. And switch. And do the other leg, tuck the toes, press back, push through the heel. Nice stretch here. And release. Good. Come up onto your shins. Take your hands behind your back. Now this is a wrist stretch. So we're going to flip the fingers up on the back. So I'm bringing the elbows together, flipping those hands, if you can, up. And we're not going into a full camel. We're really just doing a little bit of a back bend and thinking about stretching the wrists. Okay, so here we are. Elbows draw back. Deep breath, open across the chest. If this is too much, you could just keep your thumbs there at the base, at the center of the sacrum, at the base of the ribs. But we're working on that wrist stretch. Yeah, good. And release. Good. Come back to your heels. Come back to hands and knees. And now down dog pose. So we're going to tuck our toes. We'll lift those knees up and back. Stretch your hands. Spread your fingers. And let's pedal the feet. So if some of you work at a desk during the day, you want to think about your wrists. Spread fingers. Feel the crease at the wrists, and then tone those arms up and in towards the shoulders, dropping your heads. Bend your knees a little bit. Let's stay here for 5 breaths. Anytime you need to drop to your knees, take a break. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Let the head hang heavy. Shake it out even. Inhale. Feel the arms connected to the shoulder blades on your back. The shoulder blades are retract a little bit towards the center. And again, inhale. Thinking about the center, draw the navel up and in towards the spine, hollowing the belly. All right, let's drop back to the knees and release the wrists to child's pose with your hands by your heels. Yeah, rest the wrists. Now we're going to come into a low lunge and a few lunge variations. Okay, so maybe you need your blocks. Let's see, I thought I had blocks here. Oh, here they are. So this is a good moment for blocks if you like them. And this may also be a good moment for a blanket under your back knee if your knee is tender or sensitive. So I'm going to use it tonight just to model that and give you the demonstration, right? So some sort of soft padding is nice. Okay, so we're going to keep the left knee back and step the right leg forward. And I'm using these blocks like little walking sticks. And here we are, we're in this pretty nice lunge here. I'm thinking about the back leg. And then I'm thinking about the rest of the body as well. Just observe what it is you feel in your body. And then see if you can scissor those inner thighs together for some tone and support. You can keep your back foot on the floor or tuck the toes again to get that little toe stretch. Good. Okay, now release and straighten the front leg. Shift back, that's that half split shape. And you can walk the blocks, bring them in line with your shoulders where it feels good. Inhale and exhale. Come back to the lunge. This time, let's pick up the back knee. It's a little, still keeping it pretty low here on the floor, down to the ground. And take your left hand to the lower height on the block. So turn the block down a bit. And then let's lift the right arm to a twist. Open that arm and lean back. Keep scissoring the inner thighs towards each other. Breathe in. Breathe out. Try this. Bring your hand to your head and see how it feels to slightly widen the elbow back a little more. That's it. And lower the hand to the floor. Release the back knee. And let's switch sides. Take a moment first, rest the hips, child's pose. You can put your hands on the blocks. And come back. So let's now step the left foot forward, lower the back knee, and you can put your hands on the blocks. Or if you want to come up a little higher, you can relax your arms on the front leg. Let's stay with this, breathing in and breathing out. Now again, breathing. Exhale. Scissor those inner thighs, a little bit of tone there. So you have some support and stability at the center channel, the center line. Pelvic floor gently lifts up. Belly lifts up gently. All right, let's shift back, straighten the legs. Maybe you want to adjust your blocks. Inhale. Toes curl up. Exhale. That's a nice hamstring stretch. Stay with it. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to the lunge. And now we'll pick up our back knee. So tuck those back toes into the floor and hover the back leg strong. Stay with that right here, breathing in. So there's so much going on really in yoga. We could talk about so many things, but I'd like you to focus on drawing the energy in and at the same time extending out, pressing your heel out, front knees tracking forward and out. Yet there's a sense of toning and conserving your energy. Okay, from here, you can lower this block maybe a bit. I like it a little lower. You can see what works for you. Right hand down, left arm lifts up. And see how can you do this with the least amount of wasted effort. Can we be really very streamlined in our focus and in how we use our body so we don't get exhausted? Take your hand to the back of your skull. See how that goes. So widen a little tiny bit more that elbow up towards the ceiling. And release the hand back to the floor and the knee and sit back again. Child's pose. Take a moment to rest here. And take your hands to the blocks and extend your arms and let your chest gently descend towards the mat. Almost like a little bit of a hammocking of the upper back, thoracic spine. And in a moment, we're going to come into a little bit bigger back bend. This is sort of beginning to warm up the upper back. Deep breath in, everyone. And a longer exhale out. Okay, let's come onto our bellies, coming into our Sphinx. So drop your legs down to the earth, hips and belly. It might be nice to actually, if you still have the blanket there, to bring the blanket under your hips, under your belly, and make your arms, forearms distance apart, wide legs here. And let's, before we come up any higher, just settle into the bones of the body. And then use the muscles, engage the kneecaps a little bit off the floor so the quads turn on. Stay here, and if you choose to, let's come up a little higher. So that would mean lifting the elbows off the mat. Easy. Good. Breathe, feel, and see where you can work efficiently. And come down. Take a moment to rest in a crocodile pose, wide elbows, forehead supported by the backs of the hands. Then let's come up again to a Sphinx where one arm will be bent and one arm will be straight. So it just feels a little bit different. So widen your forearms apart. Now let's come up and straighten just the left arm. So it's going to feel interesting, right? We're doing this little asymmetrical. And then lower the left forearm and straighten the right arm. Push away. And keeping the kneecaps engaged off the floor. Do that 2 more times. So just the left arm straightens and the forearm on the right stays on the floor. And release and push up. And come down and rest again in crocodile pose. Windshield wiper your heels back and forth. Now let's come into what's sometimes referred to as gecko pose. We're going to take our fingertips on the floor and the elbows are kind of bent here, right? They're very bent. And they're at chest height, the fingers. I'm going to come on up, inhale. Cobra, gecko-y kind of action. And then roll back down. Exhale. So let's do one shoulder preference at a time. So you're going to come on up and roll towards one side. And come back up and roll to the other side. So I'm dipping and rotating the shoulder in. Try it one more time each side. And lift back up. And roll back down. And take a pause to rest. Let your heels flop out. Breathe deep into your belly. And let it go. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Some more. Exhale, even more. Okay, let's come back to hands and knees. Inhale to all fours. And downward facing dog pose. All right, let's begin with the left leg. Lift it up and back. Three-legged dog stretch. Kick that leg up. And again, try to work efficiently. Whoops, I'm going to knock over my lamp. Draw those inner thighs together. Scissor them there. Good. Now bring the knee towards the nose and place the foot forward. Again, lower the right knee. This time, let's lift the arms up. Turn this Asana lunge. This is a back bend, really. All right, see if I could soften the front ribs in and stretch up. Good. Okay, lower the arms. Now we're going to pivot that back foot, that right foot back, I should say, and keep this left knee tracking forward. We're coming into what I call baby warrior 2 because we're staying on that knee. And track that knee over the ankle. Look over your left fingers. Stay here, breathing in, breathing out. So that crease at the hip, breathe in and breathe out. Good. This time straight in the left leg. Reach down with the left hand, reach up with the right, side bend into Parigasana, one of the variations, Gecko Pose. Breathing in. And breathe into the lungs on the sides here. Three-dimensional breathing. Exhale. Come back up. And now let's take this right hand to the back heel. Right, so I'm going to tuck the back toes and reach behind for the heel. Maybe this is it, right? Maybe you go like, wow, I got back there and that's plenty for me. Or maybe you also lift the left arm up and lean back. A little bit of a back bend there. And release, come back, bend the knee, and now let's just cartwheel that right hand and step it on back. Down dog pose, exhale. Or if you're needing just to rest, drop to your hands and knees. Otherwise, we'll take a little vinyasa here, down dog. Keep it low, inhale, plank. Exhale, either chaturanga or knees drop down, elbows go back all the way down to the ground. Lengthen those legs back. This time, regular cobra. Hands in line with the chest, roll up and rise. Roll the shoulders back on your back. So good to do these extensions, especially if you're driving a lot or looking at a computer a lot or just forward on your phone. It's the opposite action. Roll back down, push back to all fours, and downward facing dog pose. All right, we have the other leg. We're going to lift it up and back. Let's try not to hit my lamp this time. Inhale, lift up. Square and scissor those hips, working efficiently. Imagine that the leg begins at the pit of the belly. And round the back, towards the nose, and let's place that foot on forward. Again, low lunge, lower the back knee, and this time we circle those arms up and back. This is called Crescent Lunge. Back toes could be tucked or flat. And stay here and feel into it, breathe. Exhale. Good. Hands come to heart. We're spinning now the left foot back. You're going to see the back side of this pose. And I'm going to bend the right knee, track it over the right heel. Warrior 2. Baby warrior 2. Feeling this nice carve here under the hip and the leg. Stay gazing over the right fingers. Breathe in. Breathe out. Soft gaze. We're not straining, we're not bulging the eyes. The eyes are soft. We're gazing outward and inward simultaneously. Now let's come into the gate pose, straightening your right leg. Reach out and come down with the right hand. Lift up, and we're breathing, stretching, opening the left side of the body. And now rise back up. Tuck the back toes under. Reach behind for the back heel. It's a little tricky. Maybe that's it. Maybe you just stay right here and see what that feels like. Or maybe you lift the right arm up also and lean back. It's a bit asymmetrical here, so just want to be very mindful not to overdo it. And release. Come back to the warrior two, baby warrior two. Circle your hand to the floor and make your way on back. All right, so we're stepping back. Options: child's pose, resting, hands and knees, cat-cow, just moving through your spine, or full body movement of vinyasa flow, just a baby little last one for the night. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Those of you who are coming into Cobra, rise up. And then we'll all make our way into downward facing dog pose. Pedal out your feet. We're going to slowly walk the feet forward, coming to stand in a forward bend at the top of your mat. Bend, or the center of your mat. Bend your knees, hold your elbows, and sway your torso. Can you feel your belly breathing against your legs? See if you can exaggerate that just a little bit more. Take your hands, tap your legs. Come on up slowly, tapping, 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 tapping. Keep that blood circulating, and we're up. Good. We're up, and we're going to come back down to a seat. So come sit down. Come sit on your blanket. We're going to do a seated figure four, and then a seated twist. So actually, we're going to show you the side. First, the seated figure four. Place your hands behind you. Palms down, another wrist stretch. Elbows can be a little bit bent. Then pick up your right knee and cross it over the left ankle. No, what am I? I'm not saying that right. Take the right ankle and cross it over the left knee. There we go. And the more I walk my chest forward or extend my chest towards my right shin here, the more I feel a good stretch right in here. Stay with this one. Let's breathe. Exhale. Inhale. Long exhale out. For the last breath cycle, some of you may want to challenge it a bit and come on up to a tabletop. So you put a lot of weight on those wrists, so just make sure that's okay for you. I'm actually on the blanket on my wrists, so it feels kind of nice. But just check it out. I'm trying to keep my hips level. You do not have to come up. You could stay in the seated figure four. Good. And then come back down. All right, that same right knee, we're going to hug it in to the body and take a seated twist. Again, if you have that blanket, sit on it. This helps a little bit in the seat, be propped up a bit. Okay, here we are. Flex that foot. And now let's lift the left arm by the ear. Inhale. And now our exhale, we're going to take that arm across to the right knee and take the Right hand behind, and easy twist. Stay with this. We're turning our head, turning our neck, widening across the collarbones. Breathe. And release. Unwind, uncross this leg, and we're rounding forward. So bend your head towards your knee and hold on to your shin and just draw back so that we kind of lengthen and round the back in this one. As we're rounding into it, stretching the back, lengthening the hips, and release. Okay, good. Stretch that leg out. Let's do the other side. So bend both knees, pick up the left ankle, cross it on top of the right knee. I'm just going to give you the side view here, right? And then actually I'm going to position the blanket. So if you have some cushioning, I say go get it. Now walk the hands as close to your seat as it feels good on your wrists, and then lift your chest closer towards the left shin, and we'll stay here for several breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Stay as you are, or you can come press up. I'm showing you that variation, tabletop, where you're lifting your hips on up, spreading through your fingers. My elbows are a little bit bent in the back. And then I'm going to work towards leveling the pelvis. It's not easy. It's one-legged here. Breathe in. And exhale. Release your seat. Come on down. And then we take the cross-legged variation. So now we're going to cross the left foot on over the right. Shift back a little bit so you see. And sitting up tall. And lift your right arm up this time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, we twist. Elbow wraps to the outside. Left hand behind. Stay with it. Breathe in. And breathe out. Turn your head. Ease your chin towards the left shoulder. Continue to breathe on your own. And begin to slowly unwind from the twist. Uncross your foot, round your head, and lean back. So you're holding onto your shin and then dropping your chin down, lengthening your lower back, broadening your upper back. And rise back up. All right, extend both legs. Shake them out. Shake out the backs of your legs. And give a lot of nice blood flow here, up and down with the heels, up and down with the knees. Shake it out, and then rock it side to side. Good. And then we're going to come into a boat pose and make our way down to the back. This is where you'll need a strap and have your bolster nearby. Okay. So, and if you tend to be a little bit like you want extra padding under your back, again, you have your blanket. All right, so I'm going to show you again the side view. Come into boat pose. So we're on our sits bones. Lift your shins on up. And we're holding here, beginning to slowly, really slowly roll down. 4 counts, 3 counts, 2 counts. 1 count, go all the way to the floor, keep the legs up, and then hug the knees into the chest. Take your head behind, your hands behind your head, round on up, take a little stretch here. And then lower the head, widen the elbows, lift the legs back up. A little bit of an angle. Let's do that again. So round in, curl up, a little bit of core work, gentle, but hopefully effective. Lower down, inhale, widen the elbows, and extend the legs up at a bit of an angle. Good, 2 more times. Curl in, curl the tailbone off the floor, elbows towards the knees. And release. Maybe go a little bit lower with the legs. Just see, but you want to keep that lower back on the floor. Last one. Exhale, curl up, elbows towards the knees, tailbone off the floor. Breathe with it. Inhale. Exhale, lower the upper body, lower the legs, and release. Hug the knees into the chest and look for your strap. So I have to get up actually to get it. Okay. With the knees hugged into the chest, drop the left foot now to the floor. Take the strap around the ball of the right foot, and we're going to press that way up towards the ceiling. Keep the strap around the ball of the foot so you can stretch through the legs, in particular focusing heel up. The calf muscle gets a really good stretch. Then drop the elbows into the floor, and let's stay with this several breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe bringing the leg a little closer to you. That's up to you if you want to deepen it, but then drop the elbows down. Inhale. Exhale. Now begin to straighten the bottom leg to the floor. So both legs are extending. Keep the bottom foot flexed. So the foot points, the toes point up to the ceiling. 1 more round of breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Take both straps into the right hand and take the left hand to the left hip and bring that leg out to the side just enough so that it doesn't overstretch. The leg connected to the hips, point the heel up to the ceiling, and then bend the knee and then kick it back out. Good, and inhale, bend the knee, bend at the hip joint, at the ankle. Exhale, re-extend. Last time like that. Inhale. Exhale. Switch hands, bring it up and across, and just take it over only about like a third of the way, and push strongly through the heel. Keep the bottom leg working. Knee and toes point to the ceiling. Even rotate a little bit in. Relax into the stretch and breathe. And come on back and release the strap. Hug the knee into your chest. All right, we're gonna switch sides. Put the right foot on the floor, put the left foot on the floor. Get ready with your strap here. Pick the left knee up. Keep this one bent for the first couple of rounds of breath. Now let's lift the left leg up, flexing the foot. The strap's on the ball of the foot, and then come down on the strap so your elbows come towards the mat. Relaxing the shoulder blades down and away from your ears. Breathing in. And breathe out, long and slow. Begin to straighten the right leg to the floor. So both legs are stretching away from each other. You can also choose to walk your hands a little higher up on the strap, closer to your foot, and then see if you can pull the elbows back towards the floor. They may not touch the floor, but that's okay. And let's breathe in. Just do your best with your stretching. Working efficiently, not over-efforting. You want to stay nice and steady. Now let's take the straps into the left hand and bring the left leg out to the side. So I have my wall. I'm just going to move a little bit away. And here we are. Stay with it. So much of yoga, early yoga, the thought is a way to keep the body healthy and not burn out, right? Keep the body feeling vigor and not over-efforting. And one of the ways we have to do that is by drawing inward, drawing the senses inward. The bandhas that we talk about, the locks of the body, is that one way that we can conserve our energy, draw in, and not be all over the place. Right? That we feel contained and healthy. Let's bend the knee a little bit and then re-extend the leg. Try that a few more. Exhale on the bend and inhale on the stretch. And again. And then we bring that leg back up and take it across. I'm switching hands, taking it across just about a third of the way. Now this foot wants to be sloppy. But I'm going to try to keep it engaged so that I work effectively here. Feeling this on the inner thigh as well as the IT band, the outer leg. All right, so here we are. Let's stay here a few more moments. I find actually it's nice to lower it a little bit. You can play with the height that works for your body, right? Okay, and I'm getting sloppy in my foot. I could feel it, so I want to remind it to kick back in. Okay, and lift the leg back up. Bend the knee, give it a hug, and bend both knees, give them a hug. Good. Let's circle the knees around, lower back massage. And then the next thing that we're going to do is a bridge pose with the bolster. Now, if you don't have that bolster, that's okay. You could always use your block and put your blanket on top of the block to make it softer. But I'd like you to just have something soft that you could relax onto, right? So here's one setup, right? Where you would come, I'll show you bolster variation or thick pillow variation. We're going to come here. And then lie down and your hips are, oh, that feels so good. Hips are elevated on the thick pillow, right? I'm just gonna come out and show you if you don't have the bolster, right? So you don't have to come out if you have the bolster and you're in position. If you don't have the bolster, you take a block, hopefully you have that, and then a blanket over the block. And it's a little bit softer than just the block, right? So then we come here. Prop yourself up and then lay your shoulders on the floor. For sure, this feels good, but the bolster feels better. Okay, so let's stay here for about a minute, right? I'm going back to my bolster and just show you how comfy that feels. You may want to invest in one of these. They're really great yoga bolster. So restful for the end of the day. Wonderful for the lower back. Calming for the nervous system. We'll stay here. And with our front belly and chest open, right, exposed, we can breathe a little easier, a little fuller, really nice. We want to create this space that's safe and easy to breathe in. On your own, continue with your breath. I'm going to make sure I don't fall asleep because I feel so relaxed. If maybe I wasn't teaching the class, that would be the end. But I'm going to give you a few other things before we all come to rest. And one of the things is you can straighten one leg. And that is a nice stretch for deep into the belly hip flexor, also known deep down into the psoas muscles, which connect the abdomen to the legs. Right, like these muscles connect really at the spine and go all the way to the legs, and then bring that leg back in, and then alternate. Right, so see how that feels? Stretch that out. Just go nice and slow. Stay with it. When you get there, if you get to a nice place with it, if it's too much on your back, then just skip it. And come back. Good. Okay. We're going to come off of the bolster, off of the block setup. So if you're up pretty high, it's probably easiest to roll off and push the block bolster setup aside. All right. Now, I'll get this out of view. Now we're going to come into a regular bridge pose on the floor. But before that, just take a moment, reset yourself on your back, feet on the floor, knees bent. And we're going to plant those feet and lift the pelvis, lift the belly, lift the chest, walk the arms under you, and just plant the hands into the floor. Okay, once you're in position, let your chins come slightly up. And let's breathe. Inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale, stay with it. And this time on the exhale, let's roll down, upper back, slow, middle back, lower back. Release your pelvis, sacrum, and rest. Okay, let's widen our arms, and we're going to bump the hips slightly to the left and drop the knees, ankles, feet to the right. This is another moment you could put something in between your knees, like a blanket, or I'm going to just show you a block because it's nice and kind of neat, right? Block between the knees feels good on the back. And actually, I like it even between the feet. And then you're going to stretch the left arm. You can place your right hand on your hip or your knee. Stay with this for 5 breaths. This is a wonderful position to rest and digest the day, calming down, restoring our central nervous system to a point where we feel just like we can drift away, so at ease, so at peace. Good, and release. We're going to come back. I'm going to remove my prop and then come back to center to switch sides. So bump the hips slightly to the right, pick up the knees, shins, feet, and I have to move a little bit away from the wall. But here we are, dropping over to the left. Take your right arm to the side and keep your hands on your knee, maybe your hip. Close your eyes and then drop your awareness inside the body. Staying here for about 5 breaths. knees come back to your backs. Let your knees touch each other. Let your feet get wide apart feet. And place your hands on your thighs and gently press them up and lengthen the flesh, the muscles towards your knees. Just feeling this little gentle stretch there. And then we're going to go the opposite way with the knees. Bring the soles of the feet to touch and the knees go wide apart. Take your arms over your head in that kind of back bending feeling. And let's stay here, keeping the feet touching. Again, close your eyes. Listening to the sounds inside and outside, sounds of the rain, sound of your breath. Sound of the music. And then lower your arms and bring your knees together. And now let's set ourselves up for Shavasana, and I'm going to be talking you through a body scan. So get yourself comfortable. If you have that blanket, that pillow, that block, maybe the bolster, get it. I would say even place it under your knees. So nice. If you feel chilled, and you might get chilled because we're going to stop moving altogether, you may want to cover up. So I'm going to show you the setup, and then I'm going to come out of it. Maybe you want to also close the lights in your room. So take the next few moments to get comfortable. This is one of the best poses in yoga. So we really want to indulge ourselves to experience it in a way that is satisfying and meaningful. Once you're into position, close your eyes. And I'm going to invite you to simply draw your awareness to your feet. Observe your feet and how they feel. Be present with the sensations of your feet. Moving up to your ankles, shins and calves, your lower legs. Be present. Notice. Allow your body simply be. Bringing your awareness to your knees, backs of your knees, tops of your knees. Be present with your knees. Traveling up to your upper legs, thighs, top of the thighs, backs of the thighs, inner and outer, observing, feeling, being present with your legs. Bring your awareness to your hips, your pelvis, your buttocks. Bring your awareness now to your belly, your soft belly breathing. Allow it to rise and fall with each breath, so deep and relaxed. And now traveling up your torso into your rib cage, chest, tops of the shoulders, arms, going down your arms, your elbow joints, forearms, hands, and each finger. Being aware, being present, paying attention. Now come back to your pelvis and become aware of your tailbone and the beginning of your spine, moving all the way up from the base of your spine, up to the base of your skull. Take a few moments to be present and observe your spine. The body truly is miraculous. Come into awareness of your neck, your throat, and into your skull. Relaxing the face, the muscles around your forehead, eyebrows, the eyes, which work so hard for us all day long. Now let the muscles of the eyes recede into your skull, relaxed and smooth. Really intentionally here, letting go of your cheeks, nose, ears, the sense organs, the mouth, tongue, and the jaw. And feeling your whole body relaxing. Come into awareness of your brain. Just allow your brain, imagine it, be with it, allow it to take up space, and to relax and to rest. And we'll just stay here for one more minute, relaxing body, mind, being present, observing, and allowing. And then slowly we're going to start to make our way on back to breathe more fully. So bringing your hands now to your belly and feel that belly breathing, filling. And then open your mouth today and exhale. Begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Bend your knees and give yourself a hug. Roll over to your right side. And then let's come on back up to our seat as we began. So make yourself comfortable to sit just for a few more seconds. Maybe the blanket comes back under your seat or however you want to sit. And let's draw our hands together once we arrive here. Drop your chin down. Take a few more moments just to resettle and get ready to transition for the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for coming to nighttime yoga and keeping it sweet and relaxed. I want to thank the Great Neck Library and thank everybody for practicing yoga. Namaste.